What's up, family? Welcome back to The Assist. I am your host, Dylan. Here at The Assist, we cover all things New Orleans Pelicans, and sometimes I dabble into my Baton Rouge Zydeco, or I just flex with my Blue Jackets, or I'll talk about the Saints. Not today. Not today. Or I'll talk about LSU. Not today. You won't hurt me today, Louisiana football. You won't hurt me today. Theodore, how you doing, brother? I see you got your new backdrop going on. You got me, my little brothers. You feeling good? You vibing? I don't see your Drew Holiday jersey. Evidently, you feeling different today. You good? We're gonna have a good show, all right? You locked in? We locked in. Now we're jumping into week 2 of the season of the New Orleans Pelicans. But before we jump into that week, we need to look back on the week that just finished up. The New Orleans Pelicans ended the week last night with a devastating loss to the Portland Trailblazers. They end the week at a 2-1 tilt, beating the Chicago Bulls on opening night at home. It was a beautiful sight without Zion, but with DeJounte Murray. And then they traveled to Portland to have a crazy. I don't know how it happened. Comeback victory without DeJounte, but adding in kind of Zion. We'll talk about it later. And then they finished up the week with, as I said before, a weird loss that never looked like it was going to be a win for the New Orleans Pelicans. So they go into week 2 at 2-1. What I'm going to talk about today is I'm going to talk about what I love, the good, the bad, and the questionable. That's what we're going to talk about in this episode. We're going to keep it concise and content, and we're going to dive deep into the things that I feel like need to be looked at, because it's kind of like, what's going on over there? But also things I'm like, yeah, we got to get that together stat, bro. It's too early in the season, but it's early enough to stop a bleed before it turns into an infection. Period. And then what I like to see and what I want to see more of. That's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna start with the good, because I'm an optimistic individual by nature. I believe and thrive on positivity. My first good thing I saw was Brandon Xavier Ingram, averaging 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists, or 22. I think it's 22. 22 4 rebounds and 7 assists, or 22, is it something like that? 22.7 rebounds, 4 assists, one of the two, but it's still crazy on a 41% clip from 3. What do you want? We wanted the boy to shoot threes, and he said, say less. I'm going to give it to you on a 41% clip. Bro went crazy opening night against the Chicago Bulls, getting off with a complete 30 ball out the gate on business, talking crazy low-key in the most Brandon Xavier Ingram way. You know, he's not really like the boisterous type of cat, but he's going to let you know, like, subtly, like, I really like that low-key. So just give me my money and let me stay out the way. You don't want to turn me up too much. And then he followed up that performance with a game-winning bucket in the face of one Anthony Simons. We won't talk about the details of that engagement, but the boy finished him off with a complete tough bucket. I'm going to be honest, when I saw the shot, I knew it was going in. Why? Because Brandon is 6'7", 6'8". Not Xavier, Anthony is 6'3". Brandon got to his spot, which is that free throw line corner, split act. I knew it was going in. And I love the casual nature of Brandon as he's hitting these jumpers. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I know it's a small sample size. It's only been 3 games, and so we got to wait to see the fullness of what it's going to become. What is it going to look like when DeJounte gets back? What is it going to look like when Trey gets back? I don't think it'll affect him as much because, one, he's healthy, and two, those two guys don't need the ball to be extremely effective. DeJounte does, now that I think about it. He needs the ball to do what you brought him in for. But on the flip side, he also is looking to get Brandon in his positions to be as effective as possible. And Brandon's most efficient, best season came when he had a legitimate point guard and in the starting lineup with him. I don't think this is going to slow down, y'all. I think we need to buckle in. I think Brandon on time this year because he need that bag. And the only thing hurting him will be injury. If Brandon stays healthy, I don't see him coming off of 22, 4, and 7. I just can't see it. I just don't see him. Now, the 41% from 3, that might falter a little bit. But, I mean, if it falters 2 points, you go down to 39%. And is that the worst thing in the world? I mean, I personally think from where we're coming from with Brandon Ingram, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. I think there could be worse things, worse is correct. Worse things than Brandon Ingram shooting 39% from 3 if it gets down to that point. But What I love most is the 3-pointers he's taking. It's 22, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. That's what it is. The 3-pointers he's taking. Like, these are like in rhythm, I'm confident threes. It's not like the I'm sitting in the corner catch and shoot threes. It's like swing, 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 it's up three. And I think there's something about a guy who's willing to shoot a three in rhythm versus having to be in the perfect position. Like, there's a difference between, this is not an indictment on him. I love him so much. He's the name in the streets. I love Herb Jones. But Herb Jones shoots like those set threes, and it's in the corner usually, and that's his dagger ball. If you get him in that corner, is night night. But Brandon shows you like the diversity in his 3-point taking ability and capability, and I like to see it. I'm excited to see what he does against the Golden State Warriors next week, or this week rather, tomorrow. But I like what I'm seeing thus far. I like the intentionality he's playing with. I like the pace he's playing with. I think this last game against the Trailblazers, everybody played trash, not named Christian James McCollum. So I'm not going to hold that against him as much. But I still like what I'm seeing from him, and I think if he stays at this trajectory, it's going to be tough. And it's a win-win. Now that I think about it, it's not going to be tough. It's a win-win. Either you win and you keep him on your team, and now you got the best iteration of Brandon Ingram going into the playoffs, or you win and you've officially maximized his value, because this is the most efficient. I mean, he's a bucket right now in every way, facet, or format, and you're going to get the best return on him right now from a team that's willing to pay him, because a lot of those teams in the summer, they remember what they saw, but they didn't know if it was still in there. So it's kind of like, is he still that cat that went crazy on Phoenix, or is he this new dude that we saw play in FIBA and play against OKC in the playoffs? What is he? If he keeps at this trajectory, that will remind them and encourage them on what he could become, not just what he is right now. That's my first good. The second good. Go. Jordan Hawkins. 18 points, 6 rebounds, 52% from the three, 52% from the field, 100% from the free throw line. What they talking about, man? What they talking about, Jordan? They trying to trade you. What they talk? Jordan is playing so good that he already has the Los Angeles Lakers reporters thinking that they can make a trade from him. And they've been talking about trying to send us Jackson Hayes back. Beneath us, Satan, get behind us. We ain't going back. Jordan Hawkins is playing out of his mind. He told us in the offseason that he wanted to show us that he had capabilities of rebounding the ball. He's giving you 6 already from a 6'4" guard, giving you 6 rebounds. Rebounding, and I ain't going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it, out rebounding your center spot. Jordan Hawkins is going to find himself in position to where he will be the heir apparent to the Christian James McCollum spot on the team. He does everything you want. He's not just a shooter either. The man has a diversified bag. He can, how you want it? You want a 3-dribble pull-up? You want him through the legs, get to the middle, lay? Do you want me to catch and shoot? How you want me to give you these buckets? Because I got you, my love. I got you. I'm really like that. And the game against the Trailblazers, the second game of the season, we watched that game, and honestly, it was the most lethargic brand of basketball I've ever seen in my life, because you just don't know. It was just like they just never looked like they had a chance. And then Hawks saw one go in, and he went crazy. He went crazy. I love it. Because there's so many people who are so smart that they're dumb. You'll meet somebody that's extremely smart that they're dumb. They're dumb because the fundamentals are so beneath them that it's almost off of their range. Like, they don't even think about the basic elements of basketball. They're so consumed with the analytics and what fits and what doesn't and what works and what doesn't. I say this almost every episode because God rest the Louisiana GOAT Bill Russell. This game has always been and will always be about buckets, baby. Always. And when you got a guy giving you 18 on a 50-50-100 clip, you don't trade that. You don't hide that on the bench. You try and turn that up a notch. You try and figure out ways where you can get him in the game even more. When Trey Murphy comes back, cool, Trey, bet, say less. Y'all going in together, or he going in 6-man until you figure out what you got to figure out. When DeJounte gets back, Cool, bet, Christian James, you can take a breather, even though you still that dude and you going crazy. We'll talk about that in a second. You can take an even more of a breather. Why? Because we got this young gun who can keep you reserved and rested for the third quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter. So you can be an even more efficient version of yourself. Having Jordan Hawkins on this team alleviates so much stress of scoring. Now, again, is he ready to average 20, 25 a game? No. No, no, no. And honestly, you can't expect him to average that with this current iteration of the Pelicans because where the shot's going to come from? That's not a thing that we can expect him to have on a night in or night out basis. Now, did he do it the second game? Yeah. He popped out and showed him real quick. But that's not what if you have to have him scoring that much every single game, I don't like what we are as a team. But I love what I saw from Hawk. And I already knew. I'm not really one of them dudes to pump my chest and be like, listen, y'all crazy, whoop de whoop. But I knew what time it was. I'm already knowing what time it is. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? I already knew what time it was. He knows how to score at an efficient clip, and he knows how to get to his spots like he's been in the league before. The man Zion went into the postgame presser saying that he plays like Ray Allen. I mean, come on, man. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. All I know is you don't hide them dudes, man. That's all I know. And if we get back to hiding people, I'm gonna have issues. I'm gonna have issues. Look, my iPad falling down, everything. I'm too lit. I'm gonna have issues because what are we doing? Like, the man is showing you everything you wanted to see and more, and more, and more. And now he's gonna get on the stage with the GOAT of shooting, Steph Curry. And this is his opportunity to have that coming out party. And boy, oh boy, do you know, I'm locked in on 10. I'm telling my wife I'm off the clock. I'm telling my daughter my name is Dad until about whatever time they play. And at that moment, you don't know me. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But I'm hyped. Next good thing I like that I saw. Eve Massey, my brother in Christ, I'm sorry. I did not know. Forgive my ignorance. Pardon me for thinking I know the game better than I do. You are tough. And your trajectory already, brother, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 8 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. Running the floor like a beast. And my favorite thing about him isn't even none of that. My favorite thing about him is his IQ. I watched this man catch a rebound. Back turned underneath the basket. I cannot remember who it was standing at the top of the three-point line at the arc. The man, he had an easy pass right in front of him that could have potentially been stolen because someone was in the sneak spot. They were trying to pull a Jose. Eve bypasses the potential easy pass, flips it to the top of the key for a three. At that point, I'm like, rookies ain't thinking like that. And I know to us, we're like, oh, that's simple. No, it's not, bro. Not for a rookie. You got to understand, he's learning so much right now. The speed of the game, he's still getting adapted to. The scheme, he's still learning to understand. The players around him, he's still learning to understand. Then he's got to look at a scouting report of the team he's playing against. And figure, there's so much that Massey is trying to process right now. And his ability to operate at this level when he's still fully getting acclimated to the level that he's playing on, it's crazy. I like it. And one of the things I really love about Massey is like he's extremely raw but polished all at the same time. I know that sounds like an oxymoron. Like, how can you be raw and polished? I don't understand it either. But the things he does well, he does them at such a high skill level that it almost looks polished. It's like he works on that. Like that is something he's repped hundreds of thousands of times. Now, mind you, the raw side is still schematically thinking out the game, learning the angles, learning when to dive, learning how to set a strong screen and not just a screen to roll. There's a difference between setting a strong screen and setting a screen to roll, like a slip screen almost. Learning how to, on Zion, you got to set strong screens. You don't just set a screen to roll because they're automatically gonna ice the screen when it's Zion, ice double team the screen. They're going to double team Zion on every screen, or they're gonna play drop coverage. So what you have to do when you get Zion and Massey in the screen and roll, you need a solid screen so that Zion gets to go one-on-one with the drop coverage and he can get to that launch pad and get to the bucket. Now, when you're setting soft screens, you're basically alleviating the opportunity for you to have a clean roll to the basket and get that alley or that dunk by Zion. These are just the small little nuances of the game that he's going to learn as he plays more with Zion and as he develops. And I'm believing that the best is in front of us. I think the boy is on time. I love it. Now, to get to the bad. You lost by 20 plus to the Portland Trailblazers. The Portland Trailblazers, a team that's still trying to figure out if they want to be in the lottery and go Cooper flag hunting, or the multiple other young guys out there that are tough. Shout out to the two boys at Rutgers that are going to challenge for that tough spot, Harper and the better one. But you lost to that team. You shot 27% from the 3-point line. 27%. In this current iteration of the NBA, it doesn't matter who you play against. If you shoot 27% from the 3-point line, you can almost call it a night. Unless you're like the old school Boston Celtics or Detroit Pistons or Memphis Grizzly grind city defense style where you can just grind out games and you are a strong, stout defensive team, you're not going to win shooting 27% from the floor, from the three. It's just not going to happen. Because these guys at this level are shooting at such a high clip that when you shoot 27%, you're basically trading twos for threes and you're losing. Because all of them can shoot threes now. I don't this and it's beyond the shooting with that game. The lethargic nature. It felt like there was like hopeless basketball. It's almost like they were expecting the Trailblazers to eventually give up. That they were going to eventually be able to out talent them. What I saw in game 2 compared to game 3, it was like a progression and then a regression in a span of a couple days. And I don't understand. I don't understand. The offense still looks like it lacks creativity. There's no creativity within offense. The P&R with Brandon Ingram and Zion just ain't gonna work, y'all. It ain't. I know we want to see it work so bad. I know, but we got two guys that want the ball. Like Zion is not Tyson Chandler. He's not even C. He does not just want to roll and catch alleys. He doesn't. He's not that. He's not Sean Kemp. He wants the ball. Brandon Ingram does not just want to throw alleys the whole game. He wants to get to his spot, rise up, and shoot. When you have guys that both want the ball and neither one of them are willing to sacrifice to let the other take the better shot, it just it ain't. We've seen enough of it at this point. Let's try something else. Like Brandon's shooting 41% from three. Let's try and put him at the give him some easy buckets in the corner when his defender fades off of him to help on Z. Let's try something else. Get somebody else. Do an inverted screen PNR with CJ and Zion. Did that one play I love the most that you guys ran a lot last year. It was the go screen to flare screen for a shooter. Run that with Hawk and CJ or Brandon and just let Zion choose. Either I'm going by you to my strong hand or I'm kicking it to the shooter. You did that against the Trailblazers and Zion was on a triple-double watch. Just do that. Stop with the PNR. It ain't working. Defensively, it just ain't working. You let Jeremy Grant look like he was the second coming of I don't know who. Like just whatever. Just buckets on buckets on buckets. He made his uncle proud. I know his dad played in the league too, but his uncle left the league with rings. There's levels to this. I just don't. You let Anthony Simons got his get back. You want to make me look bad in front of my baby mama with her other baby daddy. I'm going to show you what type of time I'm on. Let me get out of these people business. You gotta be better than this. Consistency is the name of the game. Consistency is key. It's not what you do in moments of extreme highs that declares who you are. It's who you are when the highs disappear and you gotta grind it out and be consistent. Plod away at a victory. That's what the legends do. That's what the great teams do. Golden State will if the fast break ain't running, they gonna roll back to what they do best. Split screens on the wings, get Steph on a back cut because you're over helping, or get another guy on the back cut because you're squeezing on Steph. Pause. And Draymond is going to slice you up. Like, do what you do best. 1-4 flat Z, go to work. If it ain't working right now, 1-4 flat B, go to work. Somebody that is willing, just simplify the game. Simplify the game. Probably I take that back. Don't 1-4 flat Z because he ain't looking like Z right now. Next thing I put in my bad is where is Jose? Where is Jose? 2 points per game, shooting 22% from the field in 14 minutes per game. 2 points. And I know Jose isn't out there for points per se, and that's not really his role, but I'm not even seeing the energy like if you have to go a game and you forget Jose is out there, Jose is not doing what he made his name on. Simple. Jose made his name on making sure that the entirety of the game you were wondering where was at and what he was going to do next. Energy. Jose, I'm a fan. You and Herb are kings of the city. You know, y'all forever go down as street legends in the city. But that check, and I don't know, I heard that there's some situations going on with a lot behind the scenes. I ain't gonna speak on his personal life and all that. We need you to turn that back up. Because what's gonna happen is Hawk ain't going nowhere, Jose. And if you keep playing and Javante playing solid, Jose, if you keep playing Fugazi, you're gonna find yourself inching down the totem pole. And that check ain't gonna look as nice because when you start to move around the league, you don't want this check to be your highest check because you settle. Lock in. Let's go. Let's go. Be the Jose that we saw in the Olympics. Be the Jose that we saw in FIBA. Be that dude. You and Tremont Waters was giving people they was in prison. I need that. Where's Jose at? 22% from the floor ain't gonna cut it. I gotta get out of body. I gotta go. If you know the reference, put the reference in the chat. Next thing. That is part of my bad. You need a starting center. You just need one. You just need one. I know what Willie said, and I believed him for a second. You just need one. You need one. Why? Because it makes it so much more. It makes it so much harder to score when your fifth man is not really an offensive threat. At least JV was a threat. You know, like at least when JV got the ball, you were a little nervous. Like, is he going to shoot it? Is he going to post us up? Like, Messi and Tice are not threats. Like, they're just like, Messi is going to be great, but he's not there yet. He's not a threat. You're not terrified of him on the roll yet. You're more so scared of him on defense and guarding the rim because we haven't had a rim protector like him since AD left. But, but offensively, it's just 4-on-5. And when it's 4-on-5 and you're gonna put JRE in there, and and you can't really play your small ball like you want to right now because DeJounte and Trey are hurt. So what do? You need a center. Like you need a center. It doesn't even have to be like. It just needs to be a center that makes you question leaving them, right? You know what I mean? Like someone that'll make you question leaving them in the dunker spot because they can shoot that little push shot, or someone that'll make you question leaving them outside of the 3-point line. Just someone that'll make you think. These guys aren't having to think right now. That's why the Trailblazers ran. They weren't even worried about anybody else. It's you need a center. I mean, my dog is even in the front talking about it. GG, calm down. It's crazy. It's a crazy situation. You need a center. This last game against a team that is in the Cooper flag raffle just showed you that you need a center because you lost by 20 to them, and it's because they were just the name of the game is don't let Z get comfortable. Let's squeeze the spots where they were scoring at before, and let's let the chips fall where they may. Simple basketball. You needed another piece added to the equation to make them think, oh, wait, we can't just squeeze Z right there because such and such is right there in the dunker spot, such is right there at the free throw line extended, X, Y, Z. You need it. The questionable things for me. Zion looks like early season Zion again. 15.7 rebounds, 5 assists on 25% from the field. Excuse me? 25% from the field. When was the last time we saw a team with Zion on it and the opposite team had more paint points than us? That happened last night. Zion is healthy. Yes, he may have gotten sick. And I'll give him that. And y'all heard Dotson on social media, and he was on our last show talking about it. But there has to come a point, bro, where you diversify your skill set. You're working on this mid range every single practice, and we haven't seen you take one in the game. Maybe we may have saw you take one or two. That should be your bread and butter until your touch gets back. Just rely on the mid range. You're shooting a career high in free throws, a career high at 12 attempts per game, and you're shooting 67%. We cannot whine for free throws and not make the free throws. It's questionable because he's still averaging 2 blocks per game, which is a career high. It's questionable because he he's doing solid things. His rebounds I mean, game before last were up 11 in the game. It's questionable and not bad because he's doing some things well, but he's not diversifying what he does great. Score. He do, I'm so tired of the early season Zion. Like it's almost like like it's not even that he's getting in shape now because he's in shape. And I know like he missed the first game because he was sick with his baby, but this is game 3. You had that second game to get yourself fully acclimated, and then you had a second to rest, and now it was time to rock out, man. I'm looking forward to see what you do against the Golden State Warriors, Z, because this is barbecue chicken alert. They don't have a center. Draymond is their center, and what he's going to try and do is get in your head and try and outthink you. He's not going to try and bully. He might try and get you to get a tech because that's the Draymond game. But you don't got to worry about a big. There is no Aiton in this game. There is no Klingon in this game. It's just you. I forget his name. Their backup center. Pretty solid dude. I can't remember. My brain is blanking on it. From UCLA. You know who you are. Looney. Kevon Looney. It's Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, and the young boy who's still not ready in my opinion. Show up, show out, man. Show up, show out. The floor is gonna be open, and they're probably gonna run a zone on you for a second too. But it's gonna be the smallest zone you will see in the NBA. Z, rise up over it. It's questionable because I still believe in you. I'm not gonna call it bad yet because I am a father. And I understand what it's like to have a child and get sick because of your child and then have to get fully acclimated back to life like days after the sickness that you got with your child. I'm not a premier athlete and I struggle to get back into the rhythm of my life after my daughter gets me sick. So I understand that. I give you grace for that. But now it's time. It's time, bro. It's time, bro. We talking about a revenge tour and all the blase. Show me something, man. Show me something. Second questionable I have is CJ McCollum. Not for what you're thinking. I know this channel has been historically harsh on CJ, but I rebuke that now. This man is averaging 23, 3 and 2 on 40% from the three-point line. Again, he's 33, giving you 23, 3 and 2 and 40 from the three. My only questionable, he was the only high point in the last game. He had 27. Dolo out there trying to carry the team again. My only questionable is I know it's sustainable at this point because there's no one on our team that takes better care of their body than he maybe Trey Jemison, but that's for a different conversation. So I know it's sustainable, but my question is, can you afford not to start CJ? That's the questionable thing. Can you afford not to start him with what he's showing you? He's showing you premier bucket getting. When everyone else is off, he's still like that. So I'm confused on what you're going to do. I think we may be relegated to another Trey off the bench season. Unless you're going to put Herb on the bench, and that's liable to start forest fires. If you put Herb on the bench, you're liable to have to sell the team in New Orleans because people are going to go into a uproar. Yeah, he is not looking like Herb yet, but you saw that play in the second game. We want to talk about Zion finishing the block, but Herb started the block. So don't get it twisted. I think we're heading for DeJounte, CJ, Herb, Z, Brandon, and Tice, maybe Messi on the second half of the season. I think that's how this season going to play out unless they trade Brandon. And you can't. For my 2 cents, if you're looking at this team, you're saying, man, my 2 won't work. That's a good reason to trade B. But if you're looking at this team and saying, man, B just ain't it, you're lying. And that's not a good reason to trade B because the boy is going crazy right now. He's going crazy. So what do? Do you just keep everybody in? And I am of the mindset you do, but there's this thing called finances that plays into creating a team that you have to deal with. And And we know that Mrs. B will pay the tax, but she won't. And I ain't going to get into that because that's a detail y'all ain't ready to have. And people be watching, and I want peace and love always. That's me. But, man, all I'm trying to say is this. You can't afford to let CJ just dip. I'm just being honest. You can't afford to put CJ as six man. And you can't afford to let it's looking too right having him in that starting lineup to mess his rhythm up by moving him to the bench when other individuals come back from injury. It's just looking too right. So this week, again, 2-1, two pretty solid games, one abysmal game. Actually, one pretty solid game, and then one kind of into the end game, and then one abysmal game. But this week, you got back-to-back with the Warriors. Then you got the Pacers, and then you got Dice coming back to the crib on Friday. You got a lot going on. 4 games in seven days. It's tough. 4 games in 7 days. You got the Warriors twice, playoff team. Pacers, playoff team. Then you've got the Hawks, potential playoff team, and Dyson coming back on time. And there's so many different play styles you got to play, but it's all fast all at the same time. We're going to learn a lot about this team in this week. And I know people are like, it's too early to learn a lot about a team. They're still trying to understand and adjust to each other. Yeah, I get that. But DeJounte ain't coming back anytime soon. Trey will be back soon, but, I mean, that's adding another shooter to the fray. Okay. That's not the issue. I mean, actually, that's not true. You shoot 27% from 3. That is the issue. So I guess I digress with that point. And I take that one back. I guess I just take that one back. But the moral of the story is this, man. Who are you? Who are you? Point blank period, man. Who are you? Are you locked in, Z? Are you locked in, Z? Are you locked in, B? Jose, did the bread change you? Or are you still that dude? Are you still that dude that had a bunch of people in New Orleans that probably don't even care about soccer saying Jose, 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 Jose? They probably don't. They probably think the ole, ole, ole has to do with running away from bulls and stuff like that. Well, actually, the origin of it. Never mind. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. The moral of the story is lock in. Let's get to it, man. We better than this. We greater than this. And better is in store for us. That's another episode of The Assist. Much love. Make sure you like this. Make sure you share this with the family. And make sure you subscribe. Because I might just be doing some fun stuff here soon. You never know. We do what we want over here. Theodore, was that a good episode? Did I do solid? You got anything you want to add? No, he don't want to add nothing. Peace, love, and God bless. As always.